Hi, so I want to talk to you about cinematography, and to me, cinematography is one of the most important things when it comes to films. The cinematographer or director or photographer is the person who brings a story to life. So it all started with Edward, who used 24 cameras all lined in a row to take a photo of a famous horse named Sally Gardner. He did this because he wanted to see whether a horse lifts up all of his legs when he runs, and he lined up the 24 cameras to see if that was true, and he noticed when the photos together that he made a little moving picture. So then it came on to the Lumiere brothers, who invented the first motion cameras. After they worked in a photography studio, they invented a way for a camera to take 12 photos per second, or as we know today, 12 frames per second, and then make a film. When they projected them all together, it would make like a motion picture. 20 years later, after Bell and Howell had a trip, after using the Lumiere brothers' invention, they discovered that termite would destroy the camera as it was made out of wood. So they changed the camera. So instead of being made out of wood, they upgraded it so it was made out of metal instead, so more people could take it out and less risk of breaking it or it being eaten by termites. Then Sony came along with their first camera, and the camera made the motion pictures, kind of developed it on tape. The tape was saved within the camera. Once it's been filmed, they had to take it out and put it in a video player, which would save a lot of development time. So nowadays what we have drones which are remotely controlled, which you can get high up into the sky and film, which is good for camera workers because it would save them at putting them through harm. But the only problem is that sometimes you need experience with drones because they are very hard to control. We also have fusion cameras, which helps with 3D effects. Nowadays you can go into movies and you can watch things in 3D, which kind of makes things come out of the screen, and with the fusion camera it can make you actually feel like you're seeing the people right in front of you rather than just having it on a flat screen. It actually brings you into the movie. So throughout my research I found important people like George Méliès. George Méliès was one of the first people who found out about special effects, and he was out taking videos and his camera jammed, and when it finally started working again, he noticed that the men in the photos became women and people disappeared, and that's when we first found out about stop motion, and that's how he made his film, to show off his magic trick, which helped with film because it special effect really. But later on in life he realised that his films didn't really have any narrative in it, so he decided to try and add a bit more story to it, like his trip to the moon. That was a very popular film of George Méliès, so he kind of created a story about some scientists going up to the moon and discovering a new planet. Then it came to Thomas Edison, where not only did he add sound to films, he also added colour, and it was an evolution to filmmaking. His dance film, that was all about the colour and how he managed to change the colour, women dancing, and the sound gave it a bit more feel to his film production. But unfortunately, when sound came in, it was the golden age for silent film, and people like Charlie Chaplin, he was very popular within that era, and unfortunately when sound and colour came in, Charlie Chaplin's career kind of ended soon after, because he was good at silent films, but when it came to him having sound, his acting and his voice wasn't right, so his career ended soon after. So with cinematography, I am very curious to know how many people are aware of the cinematography behind films, whether they actually know how films are made, other than, oh, it's a story, this is what happened. I wanted to know whether they knew how things like Star Wars and Inception and all of the great films were made. So I asked a few people some questions about their favourite film and whether they know how it was made. So what is your favourite film?
Kingsman: Secret Service.
Probably all of the Star Wars movies.
I'd say at the minute's probably Kill Bill.
How much do you know about how the film was made?
I don't really know much about any specific camera, cinematographers, editors, anything like that. And it was a lot of CGI, a lot of very specific camera angles.
Honestly, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty certain that most movies use green screens and CGI.
Well, I know about the Crazy 88 scene where she's fighting all these samurais, whatever, and it goes black and white. But I know they did that because they were using coloured syrup or whatever for blood, but it was sticking to everyone's costume and it wasn't working. So they changed it to black and white so they didn't have to do that particular syrup.
Do you know anything about cinematographers, any examples or what they do?
Not specifically anyone in particular. They're usually on little vehicles and stuff to go fast if it's in a very high-paced action scene.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it sounds like it's a lot to do with camera work.
Yeah, I know of cinematography. I can't give you. Well, it's like different directors use different cinematographers differently. Like David Fincher has a completely different style to Quentin Tarantino, for example, how he directs the cinematographer to work. But there's establishing shots where it's just one tracking movement through a place. I can't think of a specific movie. Kill Bill does it at one point.
So after finding out whether people knew about it, I was kind of disappointed that not a lot of people know about some of the CGI effects and green screen effects, because that is the basis of how all great films are made, kind of like Inception. Inception was a very good example when researching in cinematography. It is well known for their special effects, their camera works, and how they actually make the film come to life, and it has won many awards for just how beautiful the effects are, and is a very good example to show people how the film was made. So another good example in my eyes is Life of Pi. Now Life of Pi didn't come out too long ago, maybe a couple years ago, but after finding out about how they did things, it completely amazed me. Like, for example, a lot of the scenes were pie on a boat, and when researching into it, I found out that they had 1.7 million gallons of water. They just put a boat in the middle, and due to green screen effects and the right camera angles, they were managed to make these beautiful scenes of him just floating through the ocean with the right camera angles. They managed to get that beautiful sunset, and finding out that, well, I knew the tiger wasn't real, but how they actually made the tiger through CGI effects was completely amazing, and how they managed to manipulate it look like him touching it when it's just a little cotton ball on a stick was completely amazing to me, because well, they made it look so real, but it was literally a cotton ball on a stick.